What are the top 5 mistakes bank anglers make? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. I'm a bank angler. There's nothing more to it. I don't own a boat, I did at one point in time, but I go bank fishing 1 or 2 times a week. I know it's not shown because those videos don't do really well, and to be quite honest, I find myself catering more to the camera than the fishing. And when I go fishing, I want to have fun, and I also want to catch fish. And I really enjoy going to new places. I enjoy getting on the highboy bike, taking it for a spin, and trying to find new lakes, either on places that are off a bike trail or are somewhere where I can get to them. And I like to try to figure out and pattern that pond, and then hopefully catch fish. But in the mix of doing this, I've seen lots of other bank anglers and watched them and then realize some of the mistakes that they're making. So these are my top 5 mistakes that I think a lot of bank anglers make. The number 1 mistake I see is that when I go fishing, there's a lot of times bank anglers fish where it's convenient. And by that I mean they go find a spot, they find a parking spot, and it's usually relatively close to that lake or pond. And you've driven this far to go to this pond, but yet you get out of your car and won't walk an extra distance to maybe a little pond that might be just a little bit further away, that might have less pressure, that might be better for you to go learn and to try to catch fish out of. Now here's the problem. That closer place, those fish have seen every lure thrown at all times. They're the most pressured places to go fish. And even though that lake might be filled with cover, that's what bass want. They want to ambush their forage fish. So even though that first place might be clean and a lot better looking water, and that second place is a little bit further away, that second place is probably going to be much more productive for your bass fishing. Number 2, I think bank anglers ignore seasonal movements. And I think most anglers, and I am very guilty of this, we tend to find some place that we do well with, and then we go overfish it. But we go to the same spot over and over and over, the same area, and that is not good. And we'll fish that honey hole year round. And bass move with water temperatures and where the forage fish go. And there's spawning cycles also. Fish move, your spot doesn't. Number 3, I think a lot of bank anglers bring too much gear. I think that if you're going someplace and it's new, bring the baits and the lures and all the stuff that you are confident in. This is not a time to try new things. It's great to go back and try different lures at a different time. But I see too many people, I'll just keep it real. There's a place right around the corner. I see the same guy every few days. He's bringing out 15 rods, 15 lures, and 20 pounds of tackle. He has not caught a fish in front of me in 4 months. And I bring 2 rods, 2 lures, maybe a handful of backups, and have caught hundreds of fish in front of him. He's asked me what I'm using, how am I doing things different, and he watches me and then comes over and critiques me, which is all right, but I haven't seen you catch a fish because what you've done is you brought so much gear that you're not confident in, that every 3 seconds you change the lure because you think that every cast that lure and bait needs to be changed. And instead, you should slow down. You should look at what's happening and try to read the water as much as possible. It seems great to go fish in the middle of the pond where it's clean, clear water. Shoreline is where the fish are going to hide. The number 4 mistake, and I would say to this man too, but he doesn't know I do a fishing channel, is that he casts like crap. If you're a bank angler, you need to really put a lot of emphasis on your casting, knowing distances, knowing how a bait will travel in the wind, on hitting points where there's grass or flats or areas where a fish can sit and ambush that bait. You need to cast better than anything. The most important thing I think with bank anglers is that I see is they just stink a majority of the time at casting. So get out there and practice. Try to put it in those hard spots. Try to skip that bait underneath that tree. Try to put that bait where the fish are. Because accuracy is so important. Learning the distance, casting parallel to the bank, that's where the fish are. And you need to be confident, but you also need to make sure that you're practicing casting all the time. And think like a bass, where a bass might find his next meal. They will be in the middle, but they're going to be on that grass line and that shoreline more than ever because they're waiting for a frog or something that's slow, that's on that bank to pop out, and they can be aggressive and eat. And last, and I never thought I'd ever say this, is my number 5 mistake. And I seem to be referencing this one person, and I apologize, but I don't apologize because I do hope he sees this, is people ignore, or bank anglers ignore stealth. They're splashing their casts. They're making these giant casts that go 35 feet up, and when the bait hits the water, it makes this giant, and you're like, okay, that's gonna scare the fish. They're stomping as they get near the water. They're on a dock and moving around constantly where there's a little bit of wake or something off that dock. Bass feel that pressure and it spooks them. Bass in shallow water are ultra aware of movement and vibration. So when you're on that dock or you're walking towards the water, they're feeling that pressure. As they feel it, they move away. So if you have an opportunity to cast 5 or 6 or 8 feet away from the shoreline, do it. You'll find that there'll be fish right where you are, and then slowly move. But stomping around and making tons of noise and doing all the little things hurts a bank angler. And this is the truth. I never thought I'd ever say that. I know when I was growing up, my father used to say, keep quiet while we're fishing. They can hear our voices. And I always thought that's impossible. But now that I've been, when I did have a boat, a shallow water flats boat, and could see redfish and fish wake away from me just by a subtle vibration of how you shifted your weight as you were fishing, I realized quickly that fish feel our presence. They hear us. So if you're a bank angler, try to be as stealthy as possible. Now, if you learned anything in this video, or you like this kind of video, do me a favor and click that like button and leave me a comment. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider to be one. I would really appreciate it. All you gotta do is hit that button, and while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. And I do appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on this channel. It is overwhelming and it's humbling, and I can't say thank you enough. But thank you. Remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines cheers, and get your fish on.